Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Gonna be cooking some more sand today. So, gonna load up the old wood stove with some more scrap, and see what we can get going. What do you guys think? Sound like a plan to you? Sounds like a plan to me. Alright. Yep, so I just got done work for today, and I'm back over here at the tiny house cooking some sand. Well done. Most likely. Well done sand, hopefully. That's the goal. And go from there. That is crazy. The flame is like white when it's burning that foam, the spray foam. See that, guys? Pretty wild stuff. White fire. Ooh, fancy. Hey guys, cooking away here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. Extremely warm in here. So here's the difference. This guy is cooked. This guy is cooking. So I use this spatula to move around inside the sand to ensure its consistency and its color is all the same. And this guy is about ready to be put down. And I put him, before I put him in the battery box, I just put him down on the cement board. And then this guy will go in place of that guy eventually. But this guy's pretty much El Coco'd, so I'm going to put my heat gloves on and transfer this. But as you can see, when I start digging in here, you can see the moisture difference, the color difference. The moisture level is a lot different in this one. Okay. See how it's turning? Some spots in the corners is starting to turn into that color over there. Yeah. So, is what it is. It's going to take a little bit. But how do you guys like your sand? Well done, or medium rare, or a little pink on the inside? What do you like? Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, showing you the mess here. So basically, I'm going to turn this light on. This is the battery box, and I got a good base layer of sand down. And after I'm done with this next bag, which means I'm only 2 bags in to get that nice base layer down, then I can put a piece of metal down, put my heater mats down, and then place my batteries, and then wire my batteries in and get everything up and running, and then I'll continue to heat up sand and fill around the batteries as I go. And the Mylar is there to obviously keep a lot of the heat inside that the heater mats generate, and thermal break basically, right? So these 4 batteries are going to go inside. Boom, boom, boom. And once they're in there, they're going to take up quite a bit of space, so I won't need as much sand as I thought I would, which is a good thing, because my dad may need some. He plans on putting some in his walls, possibly, but it has to be super dry in order for him to do that, so or it'll just rot out and burst, so not the best. So Friday, I'm not going to be able to stay here Friday, because I'm going to be cooking while I'm working, and if I have any time left over in the afternoon, I'll come back, cook some more sand, and continue this. But we'll see how much I get done today. It's going to be an interesting day for sure. So I'll see you guys in a bit. Alrighty guys, it's early morning here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. I'm waiting because the Wind Turbine lady finally called, and she's coming to pick that stuff up today. So while I'm waiting for her, I'm going to put this metal sheet down in my lithium iron phosphate battery box, or sand box. So I got a heavy gauge sheet of metal. I got my foundation of sand, which is at least 1 inch, inch and a half, almost 2 inches of sand. That's all been dried and cooked. And so now I can put the metal down. Now I have to position the heater mats, and I have to put the extensions on the heater mats. And what I'll do is I'll tape the extensions on. When you buy these heater mats, they come with these extensions. It's pretty simple. You just plug in, but what I'm going to do is tape around this connection so it doesn't come undone while in the box for some unknown reason. So I'll just grab some electrical tape here and we'll tape up. I got 2 of these that are going in, so should do us for what we're doing. And the electric heater mats are USB powered, 5 volts. They're powered by the battery themselves. They run off the battery. Keeps the battery nice and toasty. And I'm just going to position them down on the the sheet. And I'm basically gonna take the end of the USB and just chuck it in behind this mess of wires back here for now. And I'm just gonna pull out any of the extra line, obviously, to about that amount. That looks good. So we'll grab the other extender and the other mat, hook him up, and that should do it. So when the heater mat does come on, or both of them come on, it'll heat up the metal as well, which means more surface area for the batteries, which is always good. Keep everything nice and toasty. The sand will act as an insulation and as a fire protectant of the lithium iron phosphate batteries in case they ever fail internally, which is pretty awesome. So that was all High-Tech Guy 18's Stu's recommendations, because you never know what kind of crap quality you get coming out of China nowadays. I'll tell you what. Okay, I think that's good enough for that boy too. So once the batteries are on top of the mats though, it'll hold them in place basically. So I have a little bit of rearranging to do in here, guys, because I got to figure out the layout of the batteries. So I think I want to go with I'll go old, new, I think that's how I want to do it. Or just do the two old ones on the ends and the two actually I may have to do new old, just to make the connections in between the batteries a more even distance. We'll see. We shall see. So I'll put one of the new ones in first. Now these are quite smaller than the bigger guys' connections. So yeah, maybe I'll do the big guys on the ends in the middle and these little babies on the internally in the center. I think that's the way to go. So that's what I will do. Unfortunately, it has to be done that way. So put the new guy down. I'll take one of the old guys. Okay. And I will place him carefully down inside of here. And then I'll take one of the new guys, put him in. And you can see quite the difference there. Quite the difference. But I'll have to do what I gotta do. I'll try to keep them tight together like this, as opposed to having a space in between, just so the connections are halfway decent, I'm guessing. That's the only way to do it. Alright. So, now obviously we're going to have issues here because these connections are going to be longer than these. Which is kind of sucky, if you ask me. But it is what it is, I guess. really. I can always put a gap in between to make it more of an even connection between all of them, but kind of really don't want to do that. Heater mat got messed up a little bit, so I'll go like this. Yeah, I'll just keep them together like this. It is what it is. Hopefully everything works out. And the last big boy here, we'll put him in on the end. I guess I can shimmy the whole thing down so it's somewhat even. This guy's kind of leaning in this way a bit, but shouldn't really matter for lithium. As long as I got a good sand all the way around this, I think I'll be good. And if I put 2 sandbags, one here across, I think that will cover it. So basically now, guys, once I wire everything back up, I then can fill in these surround with sand and go from there. Now, I wish I could... There we go. That's a lot better. I did just press down on the sand to kind of tamp it down to get a better connection going on here. So what I'll leave all these handles here, and what I'll do is I'm going to tape these handles together so I don't lose them at any point, just with some electrical tape, because if I ever have to pull any of these cells out of here, I can just grab the handles, pull up, and then the sand will obviously fall down and do its thing. So we'll just tape these up so they're not missing in action if I ever have to pull the cells. But more than likely I'll never have to touch these cells again for a good 15 years, because that's what they're good for if you baby them. And even after the 15 years, I think they only go down to 70% capacity. So the capacity or the range only decreases by a little bit as they age. So as opposed to 100% capacity, you'll be down to 70% over after the 15 years. And then by then, batteries will be lithium iron phosphate should be super cheap. Come on. There we go. Somewhat. Working with gloves, fun. Okay, keep those guys kind of out of the way. Boom, boom. There we go. All right. So now, some of these connections are probably not going to work anymore whatsoever. So, yeah, I'll have to make all new wires for each individual one, guys. So that's going to take time, and I guess I'll have to start on that off camera to do that. But in the meantime, let's take you over, give you guys a nice view. So we have, zoom out, we have the batteries all flushed together. Got them, they're under the metal, under the heater mats. That'll spread the heat throughout. The sand's going to help insulate, and pretty good stuff. Yep. So, not too shabby. And what I'll probably do is I'll tape the USBs together here, the 2 cords, and that way they're together as well. So, good to go. Alrighty guys, so I just made up a bunch of my wire fittings for the batteries. So I did custom these sets here, and I was able to use these smaller ones. I'll be able to reuse them. I just had to shimmy the end battery here just a tad. You can see there's like a 1/8 of an inch, or well, more like a 1/4 inch there, and this one whatever. But I was able to reuse, I'm going to reuse the positive from the fuse, and I had to make a new negative line all the way down to this battery post there. So, and it's still got the switch, so everything will be running. And I believe what the plan is, I'm going to put the once everything's wired in, I'm going to put the inverter on the top of the sandbags that cover this, and that'll be a placeholder for the inverter. So I think that's going to work out okay. So good stuff. I'll just have to redo the connections probably for the inverter. They may be long enough though. We'll see. So I'm out of here for now. Got to go to work. Can't stay and finish, unfortunately, but I'm damn close. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House, taking a break from the battery work. Actually just got back from work here, so I'm going to be going in here shortly. Just wanted to show you, tiny house has been pressure washed with soap and pressure washer, and it's ready for paint. Now we did a test of the marine paint, and you can kind of see it here. See the difference? It's almost like a polyurethane or something, but I think that's a good choice though. My mom's actually gonna pick out the color so she's gonna get a tint for this stuff, and then I'm gonna put it on and go from there. So yeah, he did both sides. It was great. 40 bucks saves me from doing it, and knocked out my wood stove pipe here. So let's fix that with a stick. Oh, look at that. So fancy. Alright, I'm gonna get inside before you guys get dizzy. Hey guys, Rob at the Off-Grid Tiny House, working on the solar setup. So right now, the lithium iron phosphate battery box here, the MPPT charge controller, which is a 60 ampere, has a built-in temperature probe for charging batteries, but I have my parameters set in the memory saved already for the batteries, which I do have to change from 200 amp hours to 400. But what I did was I ran the probe, the temperature probe for the MPPT up, and I fed it through in between both of these center of the batteries here, about halfway in, just as a temperature probe, away from the bottom of the plate, which will get warm eventually when the heater mats are activated. So just a little update there. Now for the rest of this spaghetti mess, I'm going to go in behind here, take a look at the wires that I need to sort out, and the ones that are going to be connecting to the batteries for my loads, and go from there. So I will be back once that's done. Alrighty guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. I have rigged up my inverter for a temporary location for now. And I'm about to wire it in once I get all my cross sections in and all that fun stuff. What the hell is this? Oh, don't tell me my ground busted off for the inverter. Yep, it did. Okay, so I will be back and I have to fix this. Great. Alright guys, sorry about the nonsense. Now, what I'm going to do is hook all the negatives up first. Okay, now I'm going to hook the negative inverter wire is going over here. So let's put him here. And I also have another negative load wire that has to go on that terminal. And I gotta snake it in behind everything. As usual. And then I can put that on, hopefully. My God. Nothing is easy, I tell you what. There we go. About time. Get the negative or the positive out of there. Okay, this one I can put down because I'm just wiring this in parallel, guys. Hopefully you can see everything. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll find out at some point if you can see everything. That's a better angle. Okay, this connection can be hooked up. If it wants to cooperate, that is. Really raise it up a little bit. God, that's awfully tight. Okay, now for this connection, I'm going to hook in the MPPT charge controller, and it's off. The shut-off switch is off, so we're okay there. That's that. Okay, now we can start doing the rest of the nonsense over here. We'll start on the positives, and I will get the inverter positive on here, and we also have another positive wire over here that I need to get going over here as well. Okay, fine and dandy. Next part. Really? Okay. Gotta unscrew the screw a little bit. Oh. I like welded posts instead of threaded because of that reason right there you just seen. Now, there's probably going to be a spark when I connect this last one, and I don't like that. I really don't. Okay, there isn't. Thank God. Come on. Let me get this guy into place first. Then I'll mess with that last battery connection there. Then I can hook up the MPPT and we should be good to go. No, I gotta raise that wire again. Or that. Just wonderful. Jeez, man. I tell you what. Having fun. Somebody's here. Probably my dad. Okay. Now, I'm going to hook up the final wire to the MPPT. And hopefully, I'll get a connection here. God bless me. There we go. I'm going to double check all these connectors. Nice and tight. Okay, we're there. Now, I'm not going to activate the solar, but I will be activating my MPPT so I can program the parameters. And let's hope for no explosions when I throw this switch. Okay, we're good. Now, I have to program this. Control parameters. I have to edit this to 400. Save. Now I'm going to go through and make sure all my settings are saved. 13.2 float, overvolt reconnect, the main one you want to look for is overvolt disconnect at 14.7, because you don't want to go anything beyond that. Okay, so that looks good. I'm going to activate solar now. We have solar power coming in, and I will give you an update in a minute. Alright guys, that was my dad. He's just checking things out. And we have about 25 amps coming in currently into the batteries. And I have no loads on them except for the MPPT. So everything seems to be good. I'm gonna touch this wire. No, it's not warm. Everything's good. So I didn't put any loads on yet. I just want to top the batteries off pretty much at this point, because they've been sitting for about a week. And the new batteries were actually fairly well charged. Normally when they ship batteries, guys, they keep them low, lithiums, for whatever reason, but a low state of charge, but not for this apparently. So yeah, fun. All right. So one thing that's kind of an issue, if I zoom out show you over here. Drop the camera down a bit. Is my fuse for the inverter. I need a cover plate of some kind for that because yeah, but other than that, everything should be okay. Now, I moved the fan for the MPPT right there, guys. It's on a temperature control switch. So if the wires of the MPPT ever get a little too toasty, or the MPPT itself gets a little too toasty, that fan automatically comes on when this switch is on to activate everything. So I'm going to guess it's probably safe for me to put some loads on, but we'll see. We'll see in a bit. Hey guys, Rob from the Off-Grid Tiny House. Beyond exhausted. I think that's all I'm going to do today. So I didn't turn on any loads for the batteries because I want to let them balance and let the internal BMSs do their thing and go from there. I just want them to basically fully charge up, go into float mode, all the batteries, and go from there. Now we'll be doing lots of videoing, testing everything out, how better the window air conditioner will run, how longer the window air conditioner will run, how longer I can go into the night with loads on. By doubling my capacity, I should have, well, double the range. I call it, as you know, the EV vehicles, everything's range. So I call it range of how long I can run, or run time, my longer run time. So doubling my run time, right? Now this is all the batteries I'm going to invest in this tiny house. And so what I'm doing is, like I said, you guys seen me build the safety box for it. It's not yet fully complete because I have to cook more sand and fill around the surround of the batteries until I'm basically to the tops of the batteries. And then once that's done, I will just lay down the remaining bags of sand on top of the batteries, and that will not only act as insulation, as an insulation, but if case something internally ever fails in the lithium iron phosphate batteries, any heat generated enough to melt something, it will melt the plastic bags containing the sand. The sand via gravity will then just plop down onto the batteries or the area that's causing the heat, and again choke it out, snuff it out, and not burn down the off-grid tiny house. So I'm doing it because it's safety factor. Don't need any lawsuits, don't need to lose the tiny house, don't need to lose my dad's trailer, and that. Now the inverter I have mounted temporarily until the sandbags are laid on top of the batteries. Once I get the rest of the job done on the surround of the batteries, I will move the inverter down and have the inverter just sit on top of the sandbags, and I don't see a better place for it, really. It's pretty safe there. It's, you know, that's pretty decent place for it. So can't go wrong there. So anyways, everything seemed to have turned out really well. I now have 400 amp hours, so I've jumped from 200 amp hours all the way to 400 amp hours. All the same manufacturer of the same lithium iron phosphate batteries. But this newer version is just, they compacted it into smaller sizes, and they also shrunk the posts on those batteries as well, which I didn't quite like. I like the bigger posts, so you can get more stuff on there. But I'm sure there's workarounds to increase that. But as for now, everything is wired in, so I'm happy. Not really worried about anything, okay? I did not stay here on Friday at the off-grid tiny house. I got so much stuff going on, guys. It's crazy. Between my day job, between helping my parents out, between working here, I'm go. And it's harvest season. I've already harvested 2 of my plants. I have 2 left to go. I have 2 stragglers that are they're going to be another week or 2 before they're ready. But I have 2 already trimmed and curing in the garage. And then I still have to do some more manicuring further on them before they're ready to get put in the oven and decarboxylized, so I can activate the THC, and then take them from there. And I'm going to do the make can of butter out of them. But what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to take a pound of I'm basically taking my entire harvest of high THC indica and putting it into I'm going to infuse it in a can of butter, and it's going to be so potent that, yeah, it'll take care of anything going on, basically. Now, the only thing with can of butter is, guys, it's butter, so it has a shelf life. So what you want to do is the containers you're not using, put them in your freezer, keep them there until need be, and then take one out, let it sit in room temperature to thaw out, and then use it as you see fit. So there we go. Other than that, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. I'm pretty much whipped for the day. My dad's over next door working on his stuff. He incorporated all my plywood basically, and all my plywood with the silver survival blanket material, the mylar material on there, which is going to be awesome for his place. Well, he doesn't have a tiny house, but it's like a little shop over there. So it'll be very cozy in there. He bought styrofoam sheets for the ceiling, and he fixed it up real nice. I might have to video that sometime. My mom came over as well. It was just here. I gave her some money because I needed paintbrushes and new roller for my paint roller, because I plan on painting the outside of the tiny house shortly, now that it's been nicely cleaned and power washed with soap. And she picked out a decent paint that's actual white color, not that beigey weird. She basically just returned that paint and got something else. So the only other downer is she can only get 2 gallons of it because the shortage is everything. You know things are rough when you can't get paint, guys. That's like basics. And I just want to get a fresh coat of paint on as a sealer for the tiny house after all my work. Now, after he pressure washed, I noticed a lot of my aluminum tape has been pulled off and is no longer usable. So luckily I have my remaining Eternal Bond tape that I'm going to have to put up before I paint. And that way it fixes, I'm going to go all the way around the windows where the aluminum tape is, remove the aluminum tape, put the Eternal Bond tape in. and then paint over the Eternal Bond tape, and then should be golden, guys, here at the Off-Grid Tiny House. But like I say, I am beat like a dog. I got a lot of cleaning to do in here. A lot of stuff's got to be moved, and I just don't have the energy now. I'm done. I am donezo. So I'm probably gonna head home and crash. Or actually, I gotta head home, get these videos up for you, for my Patreon members, and then possibly crash. But I'm beat like a dog, guys. I can't even. No, I'm done. Because I did work. I did a half day's work doing the day job today. Then I came here, busted butt, getting the batteries all done up, and now I'm just whipped. But I guess the rest of the week's catching up with me because I've been busting butt all week. Basically all summer been busting butt. So, you know, things are working good though now. And I have I'm a proud owner of 400 amp hour lithium battery off the grid solar setup that should, now that I double capacity, the air conditioner on the inverter should run a lot smoother. Everything should run a lot smoother. Not that it didn't run smooth before, but it just gives it that little extra buffer of added capacity and amps that it can draw from, so it's not taxing the solar and the MPPT as much, because it's going to draw down from the batteries, and then the solar is going to do its thing and send in more fuel to the batteries, so the cycle goes on and on and on. And I'm going to try to baby these batteries and make them last 15 years plus, and that's the way it is. So like I said, I'm basically entombing them in dry sand, cooking all the moisture out of the sand. I got a nice thick base. It's going to make this thing basically nice and safe, no issues. And I need it nice and safe, guys, because look, it's right here. My bed is right here, and normally this is the bedroom. So if anything bad happens here while I'm sleeping, I will be protected from the sand. And the trailer will be protected from the sand because my TV is right there. The bed just goes down. I'm not going to have a pantry back here anymore. I'm probably just going to jack the bed back up against the battery box even, maybe. Or put like a little... maybe I'll just leave this open as a walkway in case I got to get in there. Probably gonna do that. I don't want to use that as a headboard or anything. But and underneath the battery box, guys, I have a 1-inch thick piece of foam board, dense foam board, so it's up off the floor. It's in a polyurethane cured box, which means it's waterproof. It's got a waterproof seal on it. And also, I have heavy gauge plates of metal in the bottom of this and around the sides of it. And then I put the Mylar survival blanket, which is that shiny stuff you see in there. And then on top of that, I did layers and layers of sand to fill the bottom of this box up. And it's all cooked sand. And that way, if any problems with these batteries, it can't go down, can't go sideways, can't go up, because it's basically going to be encased in sand one way or the other. Any direction, every direction, it'll be encased in sand in case of an emergency. And the inverter, it's temporary. Like I said, I'm just going to drop it, mount it right on top of the sandbags that'll be on top of the batteries, and donezo. Bob's your uncle. So I think everything turned out good. I'm gonna get the hell out of here, take a break. I'm due for a shower, that's for sure. Go home, take a shower, get these videos uploading to you guys on Patreon, and I appreciate all my Patreon members. Couldn't have done it this year without you guys. We got a pandemic going on, Money was tight. Supplies are scarce. Supplies cost way more now. And I had to re-gut the entire tiny house, practically. Get it back to this point and get the new batteries in at the same time. And we're only September the 16th today. So I've been go all summer, put it that way. And for good reason. We have a pandemic on, and I have more prepping videos coming. Some nice information for you guys to know about. I had a lot of trolls down my latest prepping video because, you know, they're mainstream media heads, and what can you do about that? But I had just as many people thumb it up, so it's like a half and half crowd, and that's normally what it is out there. The country's in a divide, and that's what it is. So I will see you guys on the next one. Tomorrow, I believe I'm working again. Gonna hopefully finish that job. Come back here, possibly stay over. If I stay over, it'll be in a construction zone mess as is right now. And that's just the way it is. I am drained. I'm done. Very little energy left. Running on fumes, guys. So, enough of me complaining. We'll see you guys on the next one. A lot of stuff accomplished this year, guys. Thanks for the support. Whether you were just thumbing up my videos, or commenting, or sharing my videos, or even being a Patreon member. Keep helping me out financially to get through all this. So definitely appreciate everybody. And anybody who doesn't appreciate my work or my videos, why are you here? Why are you watching? Get a life.